Why does the early Vedic period remain a cornerstone of India's cultural and religious identity? The early Vedic period is a defining chapter in Indian history, marking the beginning of Aryan settlements in the Indian subcontinent. Derived from the Rigveda, the oldest and most significant of the four Vedas, this period provides a vivid account of the life, culture, and beliefs of the Aryans. Their migration and subsequent settlement in the Sapta-Sindhu region, the land of seven rivers, Saraswati, Sindhu, and their tributaries, laid the foundation for the Vedic civilization. The Aryans were primarily pastoral nomads, and their simple yet structured lifestyle reflects the early stages of societal development. 1. Society of the early Vedic period. Social organization. The society was primarily tribal, with the Jana tribe being the basic unit of organization. The tribes were further divided into smaller units known as gramas, villages. These groups were often named after their leaders or prominent members, such as the Bharatas, Purus, and Yadus. Tribal unity and loyalty were critical for survival and prosperity. Social stratification. The Varna system existed but was functional and not rigidly hereditary. Social roles were based on one's skills and duties rather than birth. The four Varnas were Brahmins, priests and scholars responsible for performing rituals and preserving sacred knowledge. Kshatriyas, warriors and rulers who protected the tribe. Vaishyas, farmers, herders, and traders who contributed to the economy. Shudras, laborers and artisans who served the other Varnas. There was no strict discrimination among Varnas, and mobility between them was possible. Position of women. Women enjoyed a high status in society. They had the right to education and could compose hymns. Prominent women like Lopamudra and Gargi are mentioned in the Rigveda. Women participated in Sabha and Samiti, assemblies, and had the right to choose their husbands through Swayambara. Monogamy was the norm, though polygamy existed. Mutual support within the tribe. 2. Economy of the early Vedic period, pastoral economy. The economy was predominantly pastoral, with cattle playing a central role. Cattle were considered a symbol of wealth and were often referred to as gomat, cow-possessing, in the Rigveda. Cows were prized for their milk, which was used to make butter and other products. Agriculture. Although cattle rearing dominated, agriculture began to emerge during this period. Barley, Yava, was the primary crop grown, along with a few other grains. Agriculture was practiced on a small scale, mainly for subsistence, and depended on seasonal rains. Barter system trade was based on the barter system, with goods exchanged for other goods. There was no concept of currency or coinage in this period. Items like cattle, grains, and handicrafts were the main mediums of exchange. Craftsmanship artisans played a minor role in the economy, crafting tools, weapons, and household items. Tools and weapons were primarily made of stone or copper, Chalcolithic technology. Pottery, though limited, reflected simplicity and utility. Trade and commerce. While trade was not widespread, intertribal exchanges occurred, facilitating the exchange of surplus goods. Rivers served as important trade routes, aiding communication and transport. 3rd polity of the early Vedic period, tribal governance. The governance system was tribal and decentralized. The Rajan, tribal chief, was the leader of the tribe, chosen for his valor, leadership skills, and ability to protect the tribe. However, his power was limited and not absolute. Role of assemblies. 2 main tribal assemblies played a significant role in governance. Sabha, a council of elders or wise men, advising the king on various matters. Samiti, a general assembly of the tribe that discussed and decided on important issues. These assemblies reflected a degree of democratic decision-making, ensuring that the king's authority was balanced. Warfare and raids wars were primarily fought over cattle, grazing lands, and other resources. Indra, the god of war, was invoked before battles. Chariots and simple weapons like bows and arrows were used in warfare. Fourth, religion of the early Vedic period. Nature worship religion during the early Vedic period was simple and centered around the worship of natural forces. The Aryans personified these forces as gods and goddesses. Prominent deities included Indra, god of rain, war, and the most frequently invoked deity in the Rigveda. Agni, god of fire and the mediator between humans and gods. Varuna, upholder of cosmic order, Artiya. Soma, deified plant and the intoxicating drink used in rituals. Rituals and sacrifices. Religious practices involved yajnas, fire sacrifices, where offerings of ghee, grains, and soma were made to the gods. These rituals were communal and aimed at seeking divine blessings for cattle, rain, and prosperity. Absence of temples and idols. There were no temples or idols. Worship was performed in open spaces, reflecting the Aryans' close connection with nature. 5. Culture and lifestyle houses and settlements. The Aryans lived in simple huts made of wood, bamboo, and thatch. Villages were often located near rivers, reflecting their reliance on water for agriculture and daily life. Clothing and ornaments. Clothes were made from wool and cotton. Men and women adorned themselves with simple ornaments made of gold, silver, or beads. Entertainment, music, dance, and poetry were integral to their lives. The Rigveda itself is a collection of hymns showcasing their love for music and literary expression. Education was informal and centered on the oral transmission of knowledge. The guru-shishya tradition, teacher-student relationship, began in this period. 6. Literature, the Rigveda. The Rigveda is the most significant source of information about the early Vedic period. Composed in Sanskrit, it consists of 1,028 hymns organized into 10 mandalas, books. The hymns praise deities, describe rituals, and provide insights into the daily life, economy, and governance of the Aryans. Comparison with later Vedic period. The early Vedic period contrasts with the later Vedic period, 1000 to 500 BCE, in several ways. The early Vedic society was egalitarian, while the later Vedic society became hierarchical. Women enjoyed higher status in the early Vedic period compared to the later Vedic period. Religion in the early Vedic period was nature-centric, while the later Vedic period emphasized complex rituals and sacrifices. Significance of the early Vedic period. The early Vedic period laid the foundation for Indian civilization. Its democratic governance, respect for nature, and emphasis on community life influenced the later phases of Indian history. The cultural and religious practices of this period continue to shape Indian traditions today. Conclusion. The early Vedic period was a golden age of simplicity, equality, and connection with nature. It provides invaluable insights into the lives of the Aryans, their values, and their worldview. As the first phase of the Vedic age, it represents the nascent stages of a civilization that would go on to achieve remarkable advancements in philosophy, culture, and governance. The legacy of this period remains a cornerstone of India's rich cultural heritage.
If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Your support means a lot and helps us keep creating. Also, let me know your thoughts or suggestions in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you.